Hey guys, Chris here again. Just wanting to do another radio broadcast or podcast or whatever you call this nowadays for the YouTube channel. Just here to talk about the Sccy 9mm I just got. I posted a video on it the other day, and we put about 60-70 rounds through it, and it worked just fine, except we had one failure to go in the battery, and that was it. I mean, it fired smooth, you know. It really wasn't that bad. I actually have it right here and just kind of been checking it out. Wanted to do a quick little broadcast on it and talk about some other stuff. And I hear a lot of people talk about the Sccy 9mm, how, oh, the trigger's awful, it's awful, the trigger's awful, and it's just, really? I'm like, it's a double action only trigger. It's between 8 and 9 pound trigger pull. And a lot of people complain about it. I'm like, well, it's a double action only. For me, the reason why I got it was I wanted something to replace my Smith & Wesson 442. It's only a 5-shot cylinder with a revolver, and it's 38 special. It runs plus P ammo, but it's only 5 rounds. And I don't know about you, I don't bring extra ammo with me. When I go, it's just whatever's in the magazine, that's it. And the Smith & Wesson was a gun where I would just throw it in my pocket or my cargo pants or whatever, just so I could be like, well, I have a gun, you know. But I had it because of the long trigger pull. Because of my Glock 19, I'm not going to throw my cargo pocket with a round in the chamber and just go on my merry way, you know, not with that the lighter trigger pull. But the double action revolver, I'm not really too worried about it going off in my cargo pocket. So I would just throw it in my pocket and go. Some people say it's not safe. I don't care, you know. Some people say, oh, it's not safe to even carry a gun with a round chamber. Again, it's personal preference. I carry the way I feel comfortable carrying. And if someone doesn't like the way I carry, well, that's on them, you know. I haven't had any issues ever. I've been carrying guns for, dang, 6 years now. And I haven't had any problems, knock on wood, you know, so we'll just leave it at that. But for me, the Sccy fills the role of the revolver, but you can carry 10+1, and so you have 11 rounds versus 5 or 6 rounds in a revolver. And most people are going to carry the like a J-frame revolver with only 5 rounds in the cylinder, and most of them are going to be hammerless revolvers, so they're going to be stuck with a double action also. So I carry the Sccy. Well, it just started, and I just ordered a holster for it, so I haven't been able to wear it inside the waistband. It's mostly just been a pocket gun. And that long trigger pull is not that bad. I mean, you can get used to it and adjust to it, and you could be accurate with it. Now, I see people going out to 25, 30, 45, even 50 yards with this gun. This gun to me is 20 yards in kind of gun. 25 yards, I think, is pushing it. I just don't see a lot of people engaging at 25 yards. If you're going to be shooting at 25 yards or beyond in self-defense, I'd opt for something else. Go with your Glock 19s, or you know, maybe the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, or something like that. You know, go with something a little bit bigger barrel, and something that is striker fired or has maybe a hammer that you can put in a single action. But this gun fills the role perfectly. It's 9mm, which, you know, I reload 9mm, so that's a plus for me. And I haven't had any problems with it. Accuracy wise, I mean, am I going to be hitting pop cans at 20 yards? No. Am I shooting at a human-sized target at 20 yards? Yes. And I see these guys go out at 30 or 40 yards and they post up their little 8-inch targets, and only 1 or 2 rounds out of like 4 or 5 hit the target. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I think you should put up a 12-inch target up there, or even go get a full-body silhouette targets like the police use. And that's what I use. If you ever watch my videos, you see I like to use full silhouette targets because it gives you really good feedback on where you're hitting. Because people are like, oh, if you're not putting a 3 or 4 inch group, you're missing all over. I'm like, well, go shoot at a full silhouette target and you'll see that even a 5 or 6 inch group, you're still putting around center mass. So And that's what I try to tell people with self-defense pistols, that it's a small pistol, it's going to be bouncy, or snappy, and you're going to be putting rounds, you know, all over in the center area, but they're going to be in the center. They're going to be center mass, and that's what your objective is. Put rounds, center mass, to stop the bad guy. Now, the Sccy CPX2, I like it. It has no safety, and when I was looking at buying a tiny pocket gun in 9mm, I was set on 9mm. I wasn't getting a 380 or 40 cal or nothing like that for a pocket gun. I was set on 9mm. I shoot a lot of 9mm, and I reload 9mm. So for me, it was just going to be a 9mm. And the two guns I finally came across that I was hesitant on was either the LC9 or the Sccy. And I shot both. The LC9, I like it, but the grip for me was too small. It was really skinny and a thin grip, and it was only a 7+1. So I'm only getting a little bit more firepower out of it than my revolver. But the big turnoff for me was two things. It had a loaded chamber indicator, which I hate. I just think those are so stupid. You know, if people like them, fine. But me, I don't think I need a loaded chamber indicator. I treat every weapon like it's loaded. Maybe there's some people out there who need that loaded chamber indicator. I don't know. But the selling point for me was it had a safety. I'm like, really? It's a double action only gun, and it has a safety? I mean, it's just as heavy trigger pull as almost the my Smith & Wesson or the Sccy. And they have a safety. I'm like, well, if they made a model without the safety, I'd be a little bit more opt to get that. You know, I was really close to picking up the Ruger, but the store I was at, they wanted almost $400 for the gun. But at the same store, the Sccy was only $279. And I was like, well, the Sccy comes with no safety, and it comes with a 10-round +1 capacity. And I was halfway decent with it. I was able to hit targets, no problem, out to even 20 yards. Full silhouette targets, I was putting all around center mass. So for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. I mean, I got the Sccy, and you know, when I bought, or when I shot these guns, they were rental guns, okay? And I was asking the guys behind the counter on the guns, and they said, well, we have enough faith in them to put them as rental guns, and they said they have no idea how many thousands of rounds have gone through both guns, and they said they hardly ever clean the guns. So they said that alone should be enough, you know, information to figure out if I want it or not. When I talked about reliability, you know, I mean, they trust them enough to be a range gun. So that was, for me, that was a big deal, because I wanted the reliability factor also, and both guns performed fine. But it came down to the Sccy 9mm being the gun I got. And I went out and shot it. We only had that one failure out of 60 or 70 rounds. And we'll do an accuracy test pretty soon where I'll put it on some sandbags. I'll shoot from some sandbags, and we'll see how accurate we can get it. But to me, when I was shooting it at the range and shooting it the other day, both those different Scys that I use shot just fine. So, I mean, if it's a gun you guys should look into. I think it's a underrated gun. I think a lot of people see the price tag, oh, that's crap, well, that's a PF9 copy, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't think so. I've shot the PF9, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I was just like, I didn't like the trigger, and yeah, it's a double action only. But I didn't like the trigger. I just didn't like the way it felt in my hand. It felt really weird, but the Sccy feels actually kind of natural to me. And I have medium-sized hands, and so, for me, a lot of guns fit my hand really well, but the PF9 was, it just didn't seem right to me. It just felt weird, you know. It's like trying on a pair of jeans that are like 2 sizes too small. You're like, yeah, I can make it fit, but it's not be comfortable. So, but anyway, that's about it on the Sccy. I mean, if you guys ever have any questions about it, just ask me, and I plan on doing some more videos with it. Trust me, I'm not going to just do one video and be done with it. Because if this gun turns into a piece of crap, I will post a video saying it, because I am not biased on any gun. Any gun I own that turns into a piece of crap will be sold, and I will probably make a video explaining what's going on with it before I sell it or get rid of it. So even that goes for my Glock 19. People think, oh, you're a Glock guy. Not really. I only own the one. You know, people think we're Glock heads or something because we have a Glock. I'm like, well, I shot the Glock 22s, and I do not like the 40 cal Glocks. I just don't like them. They feel real snappy to me. The only 40 cal that I shot that I actually liked was a my brother's issued M&P 40 cal, and that's the only 40 caliber I ever shot that I was like, this is not too bad of a gun. I actually wouldn't mind carrying that. But an M&P 40, kind of big. But if I was able to pick what gun I could choose for security, I might go with M&P 40. That might be a good carry gun, like an open carry type gun, or a a police gun. So, but yeah, here are so many bad things about the Sccy from, I think it's usually the younger crowd. The older guys, they understand what role it's supposed to be in. It's supposed to be in that double action only, no safety. Put it in your bag, put it in your pocket. Just, like you're going camping, you just toss it in your bag, and you're not worried about it going off, the Glock 19, I can't just throw it in my cargo pockets and go, like I said earlier. It's just, that trigger could go off. So even in a holster, like when I'm loading it and unloading it on my holster, those are the times when I'm very, very careful about what I'm doing. I mean, I don't do anything else. When I'm putting it in the holster with a round in the chamber, I'm very careful. And when I take it out, same thing. I'm extremely careful, and I try to go in a part of the house where if it did go off, it wouldn't do any damage to anybody or to the house. So, it's just things like that I think of, even though I don't plan on the gun going off. But on top of that, have you guys heard about this Clyde Bundy thing? I don't know. Everyone's been asking my opinion about it. And the opinion I give to people, I don't really care about Clyde Bundy. I really don't. Whether or not he's a criminal or whatever, that's for the courts to figure out. But what I didn't like was how they sent like these SWAT teams and snipers after a rancher. I mean, come on, guys. That's just overkill. I'm like, what is this, Waco? I mean, this was just, to me, it was an overreach of the power by the government officials. And they went after this guy with snipers, and it was just like a big, huge show of force for the government to go after this guy. Almost like they were trying to set an example for him, as if they didn't do that in Waco, but I guess they needed a refresher. But the thing is, everyone remembers like Waco and Ruby Ridge. So a lot of guys went down there, and I support the guys that went down there. I don't exactly know what happened down there, but I know that the government didn't need to send snipers and SWAT teams after a guy about cattle. I mean, if that's really what happened, if it was really about cattle, which I don't know if it was or not, but I think the government used excessive force in sending their decked out guys in military gear looking like they're in Iraq or Afghanistan, and I was just like, really? I'm like, to go after a rancher, guys? Come on, And then all the patriots, and I call patriots, showed up to say, no, you guys are not coming down here with snipers and SWAT team to go after this guy. It's not going to happen. We're not going to, And they were there more as observers, and yeah, they did get in the way a little bit. But, you got to remember, we had the Boston Massacre in the 1700s, and, most people don't know that when it went to trial, that John Adams was a lawyer for the British, for those British soldiers, including one of the captains. And during that protest, the British did fire into the crowd. There's no doubt about it. But, in the end, they didn't get punished for it. It was kind of like decided that it was self-defense because the crowd was throwing things and throwing rocks and clubs and stuff like that at the soldiers. And the soldiers just fired into the crowd. And whether or not it was right or wrong, we know that the British soldiers who fired into the crowd didn't get punished at all. They got it. John Adams was actually one of the people that got them off. So, but nowadays, you think about like our things going on, standing up to the government. I mean, yeah, the government shouldn't need to send snipers after its own people in the United States. I mean, if the guy was shooting at deputies or law enforcement or something, yeah, I could see snipers and SWAT team. But to go down there and just automatically bring that excessive force down there is why I think a lot of people got pissed off, and that's why, that's what I think sparked the whole thing about people going down there, was to be like, nope, we're not going to use this excessive force, and we're going to be here to make sure you guys follow the law and don't shoot innocent people. So that's all I got to say about the Clyde Bundy thing. Also, this is my first radio broadcast from Spokane. I just moved to Spokane about 3 months ago now, and we really like it here. I do security work downtown, and and for a really cool company, and it's a really good job, and I really enjoy it. And it's, you know, security work is a lot of fun. And you have your good days and bad days with any security job, but they pay really good, so I'll probably stick with them for as long as I can. But you know, everything else going on, nothing too crazy. I have a road trip coming up to Bannock, Montana, the old mining town, which is now a ghost town, and it's about a 5.5 hour drive from where I live. And we're going to do a video about the town and stuff, and it's supposed to be haunted. So we'll see if we catch any ghost stuff. We'll, you know, but I'll videotape it, and so you guys can check out our little road trip that we're going on. And we haven't been on a road trip since we went to the Idaho State Penitentiary in Boise, which is another cool place. If you live in or near Boise, Idaho, I suggest you go there. I mean, it's a little over 6 hour drive for us, but it was fun, you know. And it wasn't the only thing we did in Boise. We were there for 2 days, and we just did whatever we could find to do in Boise. And you know, they have a P-40 Warhawk Museum just outside town, and that place is pretty cool. Definitely a place you should check out. It's I forget where it's at, but it's not hard to find. And they do have a Cabela's down there, and they have like I said, the Idaho State Penitentiary, which is an old prison built in the 1800s, and it was decommissioned in like 1971 or something, or shut down in the 70s. So, and you can walk through all the buildings. You just can't go on the upper floors on some of the jails, but you can walk around the bottom floors. And I mean, each floor is going to be the same as the first one. So, but it would be nice to just be able to walk around the different floors. But something you guys check out. You know, the Idaho State Capitol building is pretty cool. We went in there and walked around, and it's like all marble and everything, and it's actually really nice. It's nicer than the one in Washington State. The one on Washington State is good, but the one in Boise is just like, wow, that's really nice. So, and you guys probably get tired of me yakking about whatever. I don't know. I just wanted to do something, and figured I'd do a little radio broadcast for you guys and talk to you guys about what's been going on. And you know, I haven't really been doing a lot. Like I said, we don't live in a house. We live in an apartment building because we had to move, and this was the only place that we could find on short notice. We hope to get a house next year. We've been paying off bills and saving money, and so hopefully we'll be able to buy a house with a VA loan and things like that. And then we want to get a house with a basement, and then in the basement I'll start reloading, and I can start making a bunch of ammo again. And because this year and last year I didn't get a membership at the range. It was just, ammo was so hard to find. Even the reloading components was hard to find. And it's still a little tough now. But last year and this year, I'm not even going to get a range membership. Like this year, I just went out to the woods and shot some gun. Like I shot the Sccy out in the woods. Just drove about 15 minutes out of town and found some public property that some people were telling me about. And I just went out there and drove a little ways, and I was like, well, where can you shoot? And I just found a little spot up against the hill and shot right there against the backstop. So, you know, and I heard some other people in the area shooting. I heard 2 different groups shooting. So it must have been a popular area to go shoot at, and there was really no designated shooting area. I just found a clearing, and I said, well, this looks good, and just parked right there and shot ammo. So, but it rained on us pretty good. But it was still worth it. It was still a fun time to go out there and enjoy the nature. But I don't know, guys. You know, I like to get some other guns, and it's just not in the cards right now. Since SBRs are allowed in Washington, I wouldn't mind getting an SBR semi-automatic Uzi. That would be really cool to have, but it's just, you know, we're trying to save money, so gun purchases are pretty limited. Like, I even want to sporterize one of my Mosins. I got 3 Mosins, and one of them I want to get sporterized, but I want to send it out to get professionally done. I don't want to do it at home. I see a lot of guys who do them at home, and they just look awful. You probably know a guy or a buddy who has tried to sporterize a Mosin at home, and you're just like, you know, I would have just sent it out and get it done, and that way you have something that'll last a lifetime, you know. And I want to get the Mosin sporterized, get chopped down to about 20-inch barrel, put a 3x9 Nikon scope on it, get a nice wood stock, you know, and a turn down bolt, and a really nice scope mount, like an expensive one, something that'll actually work. But it's gonna be professionally done, and I'll send it out. So I don't know who I want to send it out to. There's a couple names I got that are supposed to be pretty good, so when the time comes, I'll probably send it out and get it built. It'll probably cost $400 or $500 for everything, but to me, it's worth it. You know, I have a lot of rounds of the 54R, so for me, it'd be more enjoyment out of the rifle than its current stock setup. So, and I don't feel like getting like any semi-automatic 54Rs. Just sporterized and Mosin, and with a 20-inch barrel, and I think it'll get a lot of use out of it, and then I can even go hunting with it if I really wanted to. But hunting is something that I don't even really do much of anymore. I've kind of grown out of it. I still want to get a bolt action 308 for fun, and I have 400 rounds of 308 lying around, and I don't even have a 308 right now, because the 308 I had before was just a piece of crap, and that was it was like a Remington pump action 308, and it worked, but I don't know if the barrel was just shot out or what, but we couldn't group for it for crap. I mean, 100 yards of groups were huge, and it was ridiculous. And even my other two buddies who deer hunt, and they have a, you know, 30-06s and 300 Win mags and 7mm. They all shot, and they couldn't group for crap with it either. They were like, this gun is just crap. And so we sold it. And when I sold it, I bought a, I don't think I bought anything. I think I paid bills with it. I sold it and then I paid bills. And I just figured I'd get a 308 later on. And I've been thinking about getting that Savage 308 with the Accu trigger. I think it's like the Model 11 or 110 or something like that. I don't know. It's a 308 with the Accu trigger. It's not their heavy barrel one. It was just a regular hunting one. But I think that's what I'm going to get later on. But I don't know. What do you guys think about those Savages? Anything, you know, anything bad to say about them? I heard nothing but good. I had a Savage 270, and that thing would shoot no problem. Even at 300 yards, we were still putting really good groups with it. So, but 270 is an awkward round. I really want to go to 308 just because of the, it's cheap to buy and cheap to reload, and that's why I want to get a 308. But it's not on the top of my list. I think getting the Mosin sporterized and buying the Uzi, I think those are the next two projects I'm going to do. But it won't be till next year, till after we get a house. After we get a house, then I can start getting all that crap. But even before I buy the Mosin or the Uzi, I'm going to have to start reloading again. I sold my reloading press because I want a better one. I had the 550, got rid of it, and now I want the 1050. And everyone knows the 1050 is not cheap. But man, you can crank out some rounds pretty fast with that. And that's why I want it. I want to be able to reload in the winter, shoot all summer. You know what I mean? And that's why we're going with the 1050. And I have some friends of mine who want to use the press too when I get it. And so they'll come over and do their own ammo. So, but until then, I don't even have a press. So I'm stuck with whatever ammo I have. And I have ammo stashed away for, you know, for those SHTF or whatever. Is that what you guys call it? You know, it's always good to stash away ammo because you know there could be another ammo shortage, like this 22 shortage going on still. It's ridiculous. You know, ammunition has gone up, and it's driving me crazy. It really is, you guys. It just sucks so bad. It's the reason why I started reloading. I started reloading about almost 2 years ago, and I just started reloading 9mm about a little over a year and a half, maybe a year and a half. And it's funny because I never thought I would reload 9mm. I mean, I was buying 9mm for $10 a box, you know, the brass stuff. And now it's like 15, 16 bucks a box. It's right where 380 was at. Now 380 is almost the same damn price as 40 cal. Can you guys believe that crap? And I just refused to buy 380. My wife wanted a 380 gun. And I said, well, if you plan on shooting it a lot, you know, you're going to have to pay because I don't reload it. I don't reload 380. I don't plan on reloading 380. My wife wanted the PPK, right? You know, it's a good gun. I like it. 380. It's a proven design. It's a heavy 380, but she wanted it. She liked it. And but after she found out the cost of 380, it kind of changed her mind. And hell, 380 is hard to find. I don't know about you guys. I went online looking. It's hard to find. And this is coming out of May of 2014. It's hard to find. Some people have it, but it's rare. It's like 20 bucks a box. Some places want $22 a box, and I'm just like, you know, that's just way too high for such a little tiny round when 9mm is cheaper to shoot. So my wife likes the Ruger LC9. I think that's the gun she's going to get, even though I try to tell her about all the things I don't like with it, but she still likes it. So I think she would carry it with the safety off anyway, but I just worry about that safety kicking on, and when you need it, you pull it out and oh, safety kicked on. So I wish they had an option to get rid of the safety or something. I mean, I'm sure you can take the safety out, but then you probably void the warranty. That's why they should sell one without the safety. But anyway, guys, that's about it for me. I'm sure you guys are tired of me talking, and I'm sure if you guys are still listening that, you know, either you're awake and really interested, or you're sleeping and you just didn't realize you left your computer on. So I'll go ahead and stop this, and we'll go ahead and talk to you guys next time, and hopefully we'll have some more videos of the Sccy coming up, and we'll see if we have any other videos coming up. Actually, I got some other videos I want to do, so just click on subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.